Hi everybody, this is Sister McConkey. I wanted to talk to you a little bit about choosing a subject for your final portfolio. Sometimes choosing the subject is the hardest part of this assignment. So I wanted to go over some experiences I've had with choosing a subject and see if they might help you as well. So when I was going to school up at Utah State, I was in a class and I needed to choose a subject to shoot for a portfolio like you're doing here. And I decided I would choose running because running is something that I am very passionate about and have loved to do all of my life. So the class was also a digital manipulation class where we were combining images in Photoshop and creating new images out of those. So I thought, okay, I got some really cool ideas, and I thought I would kind of put those together. For one image, I had a shoe that I shot and made it look like it was a mountain, and then shot another image of a runner, and then put them together, and then had the proportion such that the shoe was look like the mountain and the runner was running up the shoe or the mountain. I wish I had some of these images to share with you, but I ended up really hating them. So I'm sure I have them somewhere deep in the bottom of a drawer, but I don't even really want to go and look for them. So I don't have them to show you. But I took them to critique, and I didn't like them, and I wasn't sure why I didn't like them or what I needed to do about it. And I shared them with the class, and people were like, "Why don't you like these images? These are awesome. You know, you could sell product with these. You could sell shoes. You could sell Cliff Bars, what have you, like that." And then some people started saying things like, "Oh, these images are really awesome, but I hate running. I hate sweating. I hate getting my heart rate up. I hate breathing hard." And the more they talked, the more I even thought, "Oh, I hate these images even more," because I didn't want to show people what running was literally. I wanted to share with them the way running made me feel. And for me, running isn't about sweating or getting my heart rate up or having, being short of breath or having sore muscles or any of those kinds of things. Although sometimes they are part of the experience, that's not what I love about running. What I love about running is the way that it makes me feel. I love that it feels empowering. I love that it is such a spiritual type of an experience for me. And that is what I wanted to share. And I thought other people must have things that they do that make them feel that same way. So I started looking at things that are a little more abstract because I wanted to create a feeling more than something literal. And one of the things I did was to find this book. And if you can see it here, it's called Flow, The Psychology of Optimal Experience, Steps Toward Enhancing the Quality of Life. And it's by Mihaly. And then I'm not even going to attempt to say his last name, but Mihaly is also part of the last part of his last name. Anyway, he's a psychologist, and he talks about this experience of flow, of kind of finding yourself, being self-aware, and having that be empowering, and this type of spiritual experience that you can get from different experiences you do. And you can get that from pretty much any experience. Some experiences or some types of activities are more prone to feelings of flow. Running is one of those. Mountain climbing, dancing, all kinds of different things. Also, artists oftentimes feel flow while they're creating the work, and so it's really important them to create, but once the creation is done, they just want to get rid of it and start again because the process is what is so wonderful to them, more so than the end result. So reading and studying this book kind of helped me to fine-tune some of my ideas, and I started shooting things more abstractly. And as I started to do that, I also brought in some other things that I love. One thing that I love is flowers. I had somebody ask me recently, can you ever have too many flowers in your yard? And I was like, no, I can never have too many flowers in my yard. I just absolutely love flowers. And in an earlier class, I'd done a lot of close-up work of flowers, bordering on abstraction with them. And so that idea of color kind of carried through from there. And then another thing I love is glass. I do design and create stained glass windows and projects like that. So I combine those two things. So I started doing a lot of close-ups with different glass objects and liquids like water and just any other types of opaque or not opaque, but transparent liquids and transparent glasses. and combined them. Some of the things I would find were like, this is a glass insulator. It's broken. I found it on a hike in the mountains up above my house. So I combine that sometimes with things like this. This is a cobalt blue bottle, and I love cobalt blue. So I found this on the streets in Oregon one day, and had to bring it home from vacation with me. Took the liquor label off the front, washed the bottle out really well. But I combine these things using natural light, and then I can watch the light as it reflects and refracts off of these different objects. And it's really an amazing experience for me when I shoot. Kind of a flow experience as well. And I started out with this image. It's one of my first images. It's on the screen. It was shot with film, 35mm film, so you can see some of the kind of grain in the film going on there. And then I scanned it in digitally and then printed it on a large scale. And so I started out with a 35mm Olympus OM1 camera and used extension tubes with that instead of a macro lens because they're much cheaper. So then when I moved into digital, I've kind of done that same thing. And someday I hope to get a macro lens, but for now I really love my extension tubes. So I use those in conjunction with a 50mm lens, and then I have these extension tubes, and they are much more inexpensive than a macro lens because they don't have any glass in them. So you can see they're really lightweight, and there's no glass inside of those. So there is the 31mm, 21mm, and 13mm of these, and they come apart. So I have 3 of them, and they're different sizes. And I can use all 3 together, or I can combine them in any combination that I want to get my close-up images. And kind of still is a lot of work, even though I've kind of got a system of what I like to do. Every time I shoot, it's never quite the same. And that's part of what I love about it, but it's also, challenging to get images that I like. Some days, you'll shoot a bunch of images. I could shoot for an hour or 2 and think that I have something amazing. And then when I go and really look at what I've captured, it doesn't quite jive with what I remember seeing in my head. And other days will just be like a gold mine, and I will get a number of images that I really enjoy. But I think the whole important part of this is to remember that sometimes it takes a little while for your subject idea to evolve. So you want to give yourself some time to try out some things and see what works for you. And you want to be able to, keep working on this. It's not something that you just are going to go out and get done in, in a half hour, an hour, or 1 day even. This is something you're going to be working on for the rest of the semester. And you want to come up with 8 really high quality images to turn in for your portfolio. So I hope that this was helpful to you and will help you in fine-tuning your ideas for your final subject. And I'm excited to see your work. So good luck.